that valley is a collection of wooden barracks built for the old Civilian Conservation Corps back in the 1930s. The government built the camp 15 miles west of Denver in the foothills of the Colorado Rocky Mountains. It was built to give shelter and work to a generation of young men dispossessed by the Depression. Today it serves a far different purpose. Yes, they call it All States Camp, and this is the start of a 10-day adventure for 250 farm youngsters. An adventure in learning, in playing, and most important of all, an adventure in living. The farm youngsters come from 20 states. This particular group is from Minnesota. Each summer, National Farmers Union holds All States Camp, and in the past 10 years, more than 3,500 youngsters have attended. They come by bus, by car, by train, and by plane. Some have even come by motorcycle. They're from such farm states as Oklahoma, North Dakota, Texas, Minnesota, Illinois, Kansas, and Arkansas. This is the arrival, the beginning of a 10-day adventure in living and learning. Let's follow them through a typical day. The day begins early, at least early for a lot of people, at 6 a.m. These aren't just ordinary farm youngsters. They're a little special. First of all, they must have had 2 years of Farmers Union junior work before they can attend the camp. They must have attended at least 2 state Farmers Union camps. They must be 16 years old, and they must be recommended by their state education director. The girls go to their shower room. Perhaps not all quite wide awake yet. And the beautifying process begins. These farm youngsters are healthy, curious, and intelligent. This is the way they begin their day. There's no doubt about where the yellow went in this case. Once their faces are washed, their hair combed, they assemble for the flag-raising ceremony. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Breakfast is the next order of business. And some of the campgoers look as if they're slightly impatient. But the wait is well worthwhile. Breakfast is good, and there's plenty of it. There's milk. There's coffee for those who like it, plus the milk. And there's fruit juice, butter, eggs, bacon, toast, cereal, rolls, and jelly. Farmers Union cooperatives contribute much of the food. Among the contributors are the Farmers Union Co-op Creamery in Superior, Nebraska, Farmers Union Central Exchange, Farmers Union Marketing Association of Denver, National Farmers Union Service Corporation, and Farmers Union GTA. Kitchen police, a necessary task. Actually, the youngsters are divided into 10 teams, which rotate from task to task. One day they're KP, the next time dormitory orderlies, or they sweep out the dining hall. After breakfast, the campers start toward their morning classes. And naturally, there are always a few stragglers. These are not just ordinary classes. They deal with real and immediate problems. Problems such as an American abundance and world need. There are classes on international relations, on politics, the practical kind. There are classes on the Farmers Union, on its purpose, on its cooperatives and its business institutions. There are sessions, too, on human relations, the art of living with one's neighbors in harmony and understanding. They learn agricultural economics and the value of farmer-labor cooperation. But these young people aren't spoon-fed a certain brand of philosophy or economics. They're given every opportunity to debate, to question, and to decide for themselves. And they take full advantage of this opportunity. The camp director and staff take full notes on the discussions, which sometimes become rather heated. After the classes in the morning, there is a group picture to be taken. This is a North Dakota group. Then it's time for mail call. For the most part, the youngsters themselves run the camp. This is a governing board, elected by the campers themselves. This board plans the afternoon assembly, handles grievances, and in general, enforces the rules of conduct. That's Flossie Harris, National Junior Education Director, conferring with the governing board. This is the board of directors of the camp cooperative. It's run by the juniors themselves, just like their Farmers Union co-ops back home. Usually, patronage savings go into a scholarship fund for visitors to future camps. This is a junior advisory council. Its members are elected at each all-states camp to serve for 1 year. They're on the camp staff and responsible for the evening programs. In the afternoon, youngsters can choose a class in a field they like. For instance, there's handicraft, a daily newspaper to edit, or they can join the socio-drama class you see here. Or this first aid class. It's taught by a registered nurse. There are also classes in recreational leadership and in leadership techniques. From 3 until 6, their time's their own. They can explore the foothills like these 4 young men, to take pictures or perhaps search for old Indian arrowheads. Or they can just walk and talk, like this young couple. thirsty and hungry, there's Rattlesnake Hangout, the co-op store. Each campgoer owns a share in the co-op, and they can buy anything from candy bars to T-shirts or even a big orange. For the more discerning, there's always cool Rocky Mountain spring water. Of course, the free time can be used more constructively. Such as ironing a dress for the night's folk dancing. Or washing out a pair of blue jeans. Watch the bleach there, friend. Then there's softball. And basketball. Nice shot. And there's the ever-popular volleyball, where everybody gets into the act. These kids know sports, and they like to play them. And sometimes a healthy wad of gum improves the aim. There also is old-fashioned horseshoe pitching. Or swimming in Soda Lake. It was just a little chilly that day. One, two, three, and there goes Claude Johnson, Vice President of the Montana Farmers Union. Claude was Boys Dean that year. Soda Lake, incidentally, is about 3 miles from the camp. For those who might not care for horseshoe pitching, there's always horseback riding. The horses are rented from a nearby stable. They go up on the ridge and down, just like the Lone Ranger. After recreation, it's time to police the grounds. To pick up the candy wrappers and the stray pop bottles. Then it's time for the evening meal, and tonight the juniors will honor visitors to the camp. Here are a few of the more important visitors, members of the National Farmers Union Executive Committee. Left to right, Don Chapman, former Montana president. Herb Rolfe, national vice president. National President Jim Patton, Ralph Bradley, Illinois President, and Glenn Talbot, North Dakota President. The twilight hours in the Rocky Mountain foothills are long, and just before the evening program, there's time for a folk dance session. This couple is teaching a new dance to the rest of the group. This dance is called the Patty Cake Polka. For others, the time between dinner and the evening session can be used to finish a billfold or to make up a buck. There's time to write a letter home. To shine a pair of shoes. Or to write to the boy she left behind. Or there's time for just plain relaxing over a pleasant giggle or two. There's also time to talk to the dormitory dean, as these two girls are doing. The dean is the girl on the left. Tonight is a backward party. Boys go as girls and vice versa. It looks as if he could use some help. And just before the evening program, the band rehearses on the steps of the dining hall for the final time. Then the evening program. This particular one commemorates the 25th anniversary of junior work. An advisory council member narrates the program. Each candle represents 1 year of junior education work. They are held by 25 juniors. Mrs. Harris passes out carnations to state education directors during the candlelight service. The flowers symbolize the juniors' appreciation of the leaders' untiring efforts over the years. Then it's time for talent night, and there's an abundance of talent. Perhaps another Perry Como or Sinatra, or another Martin and Lewis comedy team. The youngsters like music. They like to sing it, play it, and hear it. They don't have to be coached or begged. They play because they enjoy playing. They know those who listen enjoy listening. The music ranges from country style to boogie-woogie, to ballads, to New Orleans style jazz. It's the music of America. Perhaps they're a little nervous at first, but they like it. It's talent night at All States Camp, and there's a great deal of talent to be called on. And suddenly it's over. It's time to pack, to load the buses, to say goodbye. It's the end of something. An experience that will never be forgotten. They built this camp back in the 30s for the dispossessed and homeless young men of that generation. Now it is used to bring understanding and wisdom to another generation, the generation which is the hope of the world.